For this last part of the second set of questions and for the 2023 AP Comparative Government and Politics for response, set number 2, we'll be looking at for the argumentative essay. I won't be going over like the whole giving example essay, but I'll be going over ways that this question could be approached by. So question 4, develop an argument about whether environmental issues increase or decrease political legitimacy. Use one or more of the following course competences in your response. Demographic change, globalization, sovereignty. In your response to the following, respond to the prompt with a defensible claim or thesis that establishes a line of reasoning using one or more the provided course concepts. Here I'm going to have to come up with a claim. I'll talk about these concepts and ways they could be refuted and such, but you'd have to come up with a claim. Support your claim with at least 2 pieces of specific and relevant evidence from one or more course countries. The evidence should be relevant to one or more of the provided course concepts. Use reasoning to explain why your evidence supports your claim or thesis using one or more of the provided course concepts, and then respond to an opposing or alternate perspective using refutation, concession, or rebuttal. So, yes. So we're looking at whether environmental issues increases or decreases political legitimacy. People probably on the way, if you want to say increases legitimacy, possibly controlling, other parts of the economy and the way of life of the country. Also, maybe, people would support the government if they're advancing the needs of the citizens, or if citizens were really excited about environmental issues. You could say decrease environmental issues requiring like this worldwide effort, some countries pressuring other countries into following environmental issues. This could be a way, but decreasing it. So demographic change, so looking at environmental issues, well, if you're, there isn't environments, if you're having demographic change, specifically like your growing population, maybe more industrializing, environmental issues might decrease your legitimacy because it might hinder your growth of your country. So that's something which maybe you could have seen in China as it was growing. There was population growth. You could have possibly also seen this see this in the future in Nigeria. Those are some places. Some people might say though that demographic change, well, your population is not growing a ton, it's shrinking, so maybe you can do more for the environment. You can see something maybe in the United Kingdom with that. I wouldn't do that in Russia, but that might be another place you could look at it. Declining population, maybe there should be more environmental assistance being done, so that could maybe it would decrease legitimacy if environmental issues weren't cared for. I don't know, maybe the United Kingdom would be the highest, one of the places you'd look to do that, as you have to just use course country to go on either side. For globalization, it's more of the opposite. Demographic change would probably be, well, no, that could probably be probably more decreasing legitimacy, but you could also have globalization decreasing the legitimacy as the environmental issues require some countries to force other countries to adopt efforts. You could use maybe Iran, you could use Nigeria, maybe you could in some ways China, Mexico possibly even. The way it could increase, environmental issues, increasing legitimacy, maybe a beacon of freedom or economic growth. You probably could use the United Kingdom there, maybe China, showing its population it's a leader in environmental issues. You can maybe find something about Mexico, that if you were using the Mexican idea, would have to be more specific. I know in Mexico City there's a lot of growth in that area. And then we want to look at sovereignty. So sovereignty kind of connects to that globalization idea, increasing legitimacy. Well, the environmental issues, it's your idea, you're being able to enforce it on your country. So that'd be more of maybe the United Kingdom. Well, globalization's attacking sovereignty of countries and decreasing political legitimacy, possibly in other places. Globalization decreases the sovereignty and then decreases the political legitimacy in countries where environmental issues may be forced. Developing countries such as Nigeria, possibly Iran. I wouldn't go to China, but that is a place you could explore. So yeah, those are just the main places. When I said one of those countries, you would have to branch more out. Um, like the demographic change, the demographics, look into Nigeria more into that, and then write about that, or globalization, and talk about. I feel like this is a really good issue to talk about Nigeria, maybe the United Kingdom, and compare them. United Kingdom, that globalization, spreading of those environmental issues throughout the world, and you'd go a little more into that. So that's just some of my thoughts on how I would write this argumentative essay.